Welcome to Business Talks with your host, Ryan McNeice. Join Ryan now as he sits down with business and community leaders to discuss a wide range of important topics. Business Talks is brought to you in part by STCU, CW Crates and Pallets, and O'Brien Logistics. Now, here's your host, Ryan McNeice.
Welcome to Business Talks. I'm Ryan McNeice, and we're here in the studio with Rachel and Drew Harding of the Spokane Alpine Haus. Thank you guys for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
You bet. This is your second time back to the studio.
You brought us back.
That's right. That must be a good thing. That's a good thing.
I hope so.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you guys both making it work. You're extremely busy making the transition between winter sports and summer sports at Spokane Alpine Haus. You also have a young child, which is a whole nother endeavor for you guys.
6.5 months old now. It's crazy how time
goes fast, though, doesn't it?
It does go fast.
I think I was pregnant when we were on here last, but very early, so I don't think anyone knew.
Oh,
it's
really?
Crazy. Yeah.
Gosh, we could have announced it on the show. And Rachel.
I know. She's amazing.
Well, it's exciting. And you've managed as parents to both be all in as parents, but also both all in and business owners for the Spokane Alpine Haus, because you guys both co-own and co-manage. So give us a little background on how that came to be in the first place in terms of you guys becoming the owners.
So Rachel owned another retail store down in Boise, which is where, well, I'm originally from Spokane, but that's where we met. Mm-hmm. And so she kind of got the ball rolling in the retail industry, and we moved up here in 2014 and ended up purchasing the store the end of 2015. So it's kind of been a quicker transition.
Right.
But
yeah, it was a quick. We bought it in 2015. The store was not doing very well. In fact, it was really close to closing, and it was in November, and so we were basically like, all right, it's go time to make this store work. We got to jump. And so we were doing 80-hour weeks, running around like crazy, and just rebuilding relationships. I would say the first 2 years of being back in business, our main goal was rebuilding relationships.
Well, that's interesting because as you'd indicated, the Spokane Alpine Haus as a trade name, if you will, or as a business, had been around and had been in that same location, right?
It actually had been several locations,
okay.
But it's mostly been in that location. People know it in that spot.
But
for
as
sure.
you transitioned, and I think as Drew indicated, Rachel, you'd been in the outdoor retail industry, and also a background, both of you guys, in skiing and competitive skiing, right?
Yeah. I did competitive skiing and freestyle skiing, and Drew was more actually in basketball
on the
and
traditional sports
Right.
side of things. I played soccer in college, where she skied.
But given those backgrounds, actually, you're very aware of gear and the necessity of good gear and even trends within outdoor or sports gear. So you started reestablishing the relationships 2015, put a lot of time into that for the next 2 years. Would you say predominantly at the beginning you were doing more winter sports or summer? Because you do both.
Yeah.
It was definitely winter sports. I think the store had a pretty big following for its ski programs and snowboard programs that it offered, and season leases and rentals and all that. So the first summer that we took over, there had been a few years of not really a lot of summer activity going on. So we had to kind of reintroduce it, let people know that we were bringing the products back and having a full assortment to choose from.
And that's something they should be looking forward to and preparing for. Because I would agree with you, winter sports-wise, I think the knowledge of the community that you did do that, you very quickly made folks aware of that. Tell us more about the programs that you just mentioned, though, snowboarding and skiing, because I know with young kids, the fact that they grow out of the boots, grow out of the skis, tell me how that works, because to me it actually makes a lot of sense.
Well, for sure. We've got a few awesome programs. So we do a junior lease program, so you can lease skis, boots, bindings for the full year. You can also do snowboard packages. We do an adult lease. We also do a junior buyback program. So if parents are more inclined to buying their kids' gear, we'll buy that product back up to 2 full seasons after they purchased it.
And then probably put it into your...
Then that trickles into our lease program. So our goal is to have good used equipment, but to give kids and people getting into the sport a good experience. So they want to get out and continue to do it.
It makes sense, though, because let's face it, any sport you get into, whether it's winter sports, summer sports, golf, bicycling, what have you, it's expensive. And good gear is expensive. So to me, the leasing at a minimum for the kid program, because you are, for sure, they're growing, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me. Makes a lot of sense because you could invest in a couple $1,000 gear, whether it be skis and the boots or the lease programs. What does it roughly cost to lease boots and skis?
For kids, it's $150 for the year.
That is extremely economical when you look at purchasing.
That's skis, boots, bindings, or snowboard, boots, bindings. We have figured out, skiing is an expensive sport.
Right. Yeah, it's a luxury.
We have a lot of families coming into our store, and I would tell you, a lot of the families that come into our store don't just have one kid. They have, we had, I think someone the other day had 5, and so it adds up pretty quick. But for us, we think skiing is such a fundamental family sport.
Right.
I kind of joke, there's only, how many other sports out there do you trap your kid up 30 feet up on a chairlift and talk about things, talk about your day and what's going on at school and what's going on with everything. It's just such a good family sport, but it's expensive. And so our goal is to get families able to do the sport at an affordable price.
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah, and we don't want crappy gear either.
Right. Well, there's probably some risks in that as well if you aren't using quality bindings or quality boots, etc.
Yeah, we see it all the time. We see, go to Big Mountain. I think we were just at Big Sky not too long ago, and we saw some kiddos that I think they were from Colorado, but the gear that they were on, and they leased it, it was pretty in rough condition.
Right.
And when we first took over the store, I think there was roughly around 300 to 350 skis and snowboards in our lease program. And that was in end of 2015. And at this point, I think this year will be over 1,000.
So it's substantial.
It's substantial.
And I think, as we were saying at the beginning, it actually just makes economical sense. You put the math on the page, as you indicate, Rachel, 5 kids, 5 pairs of boots, 5 pairs of skis, gloves, helmets, etc. It's an expensive sport, but in our area, wouldn't you agree, between the respective hills, and I certainly wouldn't want to leave anybody out, but between Lookout, Schweitzer, Mount Spokane, 49, etc., Silver, there's some pretty good packages as well for getting the families involved.
Yeah, all the mountains do such a great program with their lease, or not their leases, but their rental programs and their instructions and stuff like that. So
family passes.
It makes it affordable, and we tell people all the time that we're so fortunate that we have so many resorts within 2 hours.
Right.
Most places you're bumping elbows with people standing in lift lines waiting to ski, and here that's pretty much non-existent.
I might have seen this because you brought it to my attention, but wasn't there a recent magazine article that Spokane actually has become deemed a bit of a ski town?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of bizarre. Are you arguing against that?
No,
No,
not at all.
I'm in the article.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Every
hilarious.
time it's in Powder Magazine, and I'm always like,
oh my gosh.
I'm in there.
That's great. So it definitely was you, and I wasn't even throwing you a softball. It was like, do you happen to be in an article that we can talk about? No, but
I do.
But I specifically remember seeing that article, and the concept from a Chamber of Commerce or promoting Spokane standpoint, that obviously Spokane is not your classic right at the base of Park City or what have you, or Sandpoint, but it does make sense because of just what you said, Drew. We are within hour to 2 hours from many great hills.
The premise of the article, I think the overall baseline of the article, was that they were talking about what used to be the ski towns, and what's happened to those ski towns is they're so expensive now that the ski bum can't afford to live there.
Right.
And they were saying Spokane is a new ski town. The cost of living is low. The ski tickets and prices, if you go
Vail,
anywhere. Oh
Aspen.
my gosh, Vail I think is over $200 now. And ski prices here are affordable. So
take that family of 5 now
Yeah.
at $200. Yeah, each day gets pretty expensive.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Let's chat about the combination between the winter sports and the summer sports. Again, in 2015, probably a majority of what you were doing was predominantly winter. But I know as you're transitioning here in the spring to the summer sports, whether you're and think boating, right? Wakeboards, stand-up paddleboarding, all the gear that goes with it. How do you even inventory transition? I mean, that's significant because you're essentially swapping out the whole store.
It's a slow transition, but usually by this time of year, the winter stuff starts to dwindle and we have a little bit more space. And so we strategically have our stuff come in kind of batches, so that way when it does come in, we can process it and get it checked in. And
instead of just
and
major slam.
Exactly, and it's not a overall complete store flop, so we will have, I mean, we've always kept a small section of winter stuff up, so if someone is looking for something at a good deal in the summer,
that makes
we
sense.
still have something.
So many of us don't think ahead that way, but that actually makes sense. That, you know what, I need to get that ski helmet, go in there in August while you're picking up your stand-up paddleboard or something, and you get a ski helmet at the same time.
Yeah, we definitely let people know we're a little bit more picked over, and we might not have the selection, but if it fits and it's what you need, then there's definitely good deals to be had.
Or you can probably order it as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we just kind of go within the season. A lot of times people will come in and they're looking for, we pretty much kick off our end of season sale. And so people will come in now and they'll be like, oh, how long is this on sale for? And we're like, well, it's transitioning out, but we only have, I think right now we only have 4 racks of winter stuff at this point.
Right.
Because our goal is to have good inventory, not too much inventory, but enough, and good sell-through. And we've been really lucky. We had a wonderful winter this year, and we have the best staff. We're so excited about our staff.
That's saying something, though.
They're amazing.
That's significant, and we've talked about this in the past, that as 2 owners, as young parents as well, there's only 24 hours in one day. So you guys come in 2015, you really get Spokane Alpine Haus going.
Yeah.
It's either you're standing there working it all day long, or you start to delegate and work with a team. And it sounds like you've had some success, quite a bit of success doing that.
Yeah. I think when we found out that we were pregnant with Ellie, we both sat down and we said, you know what, I don't know if we had been doing it really right. We'd been in the store 80 hours a week. And, I mean, you have to do that. And that's okay, you know. But we were also realizing that there was a new chapter of our life, and we needed to prepare for that. And so we sat down around this time last year, and we made kind of a list of who we were looking for. And we really worked hard to find those people, and we're really working hard to retain them because they're super valuable.
Absolutely.
And
it makes your life work well.
I have learned that it takes a village, you know, in a lot of different, you know, with your business and having a family and with a lot of different things. And our staff, we have so many customers come in, and they are now talking about our staff. Hey, or they'll come in and you're up there and they'll be like, hey, can I talk to Josh? You know, and you're like, well, I can help you. Oh, but Josh helped me. Josh is great. Oh,
actually, I think Josh did help me at one point and did a great job. By the way. How many current full-time employees do you have?
Not counting us, we have 5 full-time employees.
That's significant.
Yeah, it's grown a lot.
Let's take a short little break and come right back, because I want to talk about how Spokane Alpine Haus engages with the community. Because whether you're talking about winter sports, summer sports, and I think the culture of those sports, engaging with those here in our community that are using what you're selling is probably a big part of that business. So we'll take a break, come right back.
The following is sponsored by our friends and community supporters at McNeice Wheeler Attorneys. McNeice Wheeler is a boutique law firm in Spokane, handling matters in both Washington and Idaho. Areas of law include business law, wills, trusts and estates, family law, personal injury and wrongful death, and real estate matters. For your full-service legal needs, contact McNeice Wheeler Attorneys.
I'm Nikki Butler, and I'm a regional manager for STCU. My lunch buddy is Nicole.
I'm Brandy Schloss. I'm a regional manager at STCU. My lunch buddy is Angelina. She's grown up with me. I've grown up with her. To see her graduate will be a lot of fun.
Brandy and I have been lunch buddies since the girls were in 2nd grade. It's great that STCU provides me with the opportunity to be part of Reach for the Future. We are committed to the children. We're committed to our community. I'm Nikki.
I'm Brandy.
And STCU is here for good.
O'Brien Logistics would like to invite you to try our local and regional transportation services. With Sprinter vans, lift gates, hot shot flatbeds, and expedited services, our people are ready to step in and help with your transportation needs. Our services are 24/7, 365, and we are trained and prepared to handle air cargo and Canadian shipments. Give us a call at 208-305-2311 or visit our website at o'brienlogistics.net. That's OBRIEN logistics.net.
Welcome back to Business Talks. We're here in the studio with Rachel and Drew Harding, the Spokane Alpine Haus, and we're talking about that transition between a great winter. You guys did very well, had a lot of engagement with the community with the new, not necessarily new, but the lease packages for snowboards, skis, boots, etc., to make it cost effective for families to get up on the hill. But as we transition here, believe it or not, I think spring actually, it's here. I think it's here, right?
It's so pretty outside.
Like
It's great, but we did have, which was good for you guys and for the mountains. We had a lot of snow. You're now transitioning to summer sports, and right before the break, I was indicating, how do you engage with the community? What's the outreach that you guys do at Spokane Alpine Haus to really work with the community and have them know where you are?
So we've found that with different events that are going on has been the best way to get our name out there, meet new people, see kind of how other events and things happen. So we work a lot with like Out There Monthly, the magazine.
Yep. That's a good one.
Different groups, and we even donate to a few different nonprofit agencies to kind of help with their funding. And so it's been kind of a plethora of different ways to get out there, I guess.
We're working on it. I mean, that's something that we're actively working on.
Like
I think.
What's next? What do we want to do here this summer? What do we want? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, the first summer that we had the Spokane Alpine Haus, we came off a really strong winter for us. I mean, you know, it was hard, but it was a great winter. And then we went into summer not really knowing what had happened previous and everything. And there really wasn't much summer business for a few years previous to us. And so it was really quiet. And I remember Drew right away was like, we're going to be a water sports store. We're going to carry boat toys. We're going to carry paddle boards. We're going to carry wakeboards and surfboards and all these things. And for me, that was it was a little over my head at the time.
I'm with Drew. I like that. That's a great idea.
Yeah. Well, and
I'm kidding.
I was into it, but the first summer was actually pretty rough because it was really, really quiet. And so we instantly made a game plan into the next summer, where we were like, okay, we need to grow. And we had done enough in that first summer that we did really grow in the second summer, but there still was a lot of room for growth. And it's every single year, it's grown, and this year has actually been pretty exciting. It's April, and we are definitely having a lot more customers come in and know what we do in the summer and know that what we do. And we do a lot of casual apparel in the summer too. I always tell people, you don't have to own a boat to come into our store in the summer. Right. We tend to be the store where you say, hey, do you want a good summer dress? Do you want swimwear? Do you want casual wear? We carry all that stuff, even some training stuff. So we're just, we pride ourselves in that.
But I like the way you're describing that, because oftentimes a customer might be thinking, well, I certainly need such and such, but that's not probably what they do. Like you said, you either have to have a boat or you must be a skier, but there's all levels of participating in a sport that it might just be what's the word, these athleisure.
Athleisure, for sure.
It's very popular, right? So it might be that you wear that type of clothing, but you're not necessarily out there doing a 100-mile bike ride either. But if you are doing that bike ride, I think you guys have access to that type of recreational equipment as well.
We do. I would actually tell you we're a little bit more just casual in the summer and when it comes to our apparel. We're definitely swimwear. We try to somewhat cater to the sports that we're doing, but shorts, t-shirts, tank tops,
Everything
all
everybody's
the things,
wearing.
Yeah,
that people are excited to be wearing finally.
Yes, that's exactly it. And we carry transitional wear now, like something like that. I mean, this is in our store right now. This is in our store right now. These are pieces
guys are the demo. You are the model.
Yeah, exactly. So it's grown every single year. We've had some definite learning curves. One of the things that Drew, I think, did a really good job of, I think last year he said, Rachel, we're trying so hard to grab our ski customer and turn them into our summer customer. And it's okay if they're not our customer all year round. It's okay. We need to
Maybe they're just our winter.
Maybe they are just our winter customer. And that's okay. So we go to different markets, and check out boat shows and different areas where people who do have boats would come in and go, oh, I had no idea that Spokane Alpine Haus carried all this stuff. I think more and more it's definitely getting out there, but it's still growing.
I think both points are well taken. I, too, would think that a winter customer in our particular area that I would wager is pretty unique. I mean, there are the winter sports, and then here we go. We transition into awesome weather in June, July, and August, and September. That winter customer that's either out at Lookout, Schweitzer, 49 Silver, most likely, because we're so fortunate with the lakes around here, they probably are, or should be, a summer customer.
And I think a lot of them are. It's letting people know. Like our goal this year was to bring summer product in a lot earlier than we normally have in the past. So we've got it in stock now, and we've had it since March. So that way customers can see that we do have a big selection. But I think it's also, like Rachel said, not necessarily just saying, hey, our winter customer is going to be our customer, but it's letting other people know that we do paddleboard rentals, so that's a big deal. Inflatables that you can throw in the trunk of your car. You don't have to have a boat. You can rent a paddleboard, go to one of the 100 lakes that are within.
How much? I mean, just as an example, how much does renting a stand-up paddleboard cost?
What are they? $40?
It's $45 a
Because
day.
I'd imagine buying them $1,000. I'm not even sure what they are these days, but
approximately,
if not more.
Yeah. I mean, we're lucky. We actually have some paddleboards in right now that are $6.99.
Yeah.
We got a great deal on them, and I've been telling that to customers. I'm like, we basically extended the deal that we got to our customers.
See?
Loyalty. Yeah. So, but they are. I think paddleboards range about $1,000. Really anywhere from about 500. 500 is definitely more entry level.
Right.
To. Man, they can get up to 2,000, 2,500.
Yeah,
you can spend quite a bit of money.
I've always been fascinated that in most of the recreational sports that you can start out, like you said, at this entry level, and they can just go to the moon. I don't even mean price. I just mean involvement and how obsessive some people that are interested in these respective sports can get.
It's interesting that you say that. One thing that I always think is I'm really proud of in our store is we have all the price points, and our goal is to listen to summer or winter, but listen, where are you at in the sport? What's your budget? What are you looking for? And we want to make sure we're finding them the right gear. So
for where they're at, I like the way you're describing that, because if you said, you know what, I think I'm going to go climb K2 next summer. Like, okay, we know what level you're at versus, and probably weeding through who's telling you that versus who's being serious. But you're also right, finding the person that says, hey, look, I'm going to go to Lookout Pass and ski 3 times this year. Like, okay, here's the gear that might work for you and your family, and kind of meeting them where they're at.
Absolutely.
That makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. And same thing with, even in the summer sports with boat toys. There's so many boat toys, right? You can have a boat, and you can have, depending on the type of boat, you can have surfboards, you can have water skis, slalom skis, tubes, oh my gosh, what am I missing? Wakeboards. Wake skates. Oh my gosh,
Yeah. But you're right, because when you're boating, you're seeing what's the rack called?
The tower.
The tower. Sorry, the tower. That of course you got to have the ginormous speakers on there, right? And then they got all of the respective things you're talking about are stacked up over the top. But It sounds like what you guys have done is really started and have been doing since 2015, engaging with folks, going to where they are, whether it be on the lakes, whether it be on the ski hill, associating with other activities where these same people are at.
Yes.
And it sounds like you've really made some headway in that category.
Yeah, it's been fun. I mean, we love the winter customers, and we love getting to make some turns on the mountain with them and skiing them and seeing how much they love whatever it is that they picked up. But it's just fun getting out with a new group of people and other organizations and kind of teaming up and doing some fun things. So,
well, you guys have done such a good job. I've had the opportunity to be in your store as well. You sold me my first pair of snowboard boots and got to meet you there in the first place. But I can speak from personal experience that working with the folks that you brought on board, obviously not only do you guys represent your brand and your business well, but it's really saying something when you bring folks in like Josh or the rest of your staff that you're having people say, hey, I want to work with so-and-so. That means, I think, that you successfully have built a business that can last.
Yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun this year. We look at our staff as an extension of our family, and I think the most fun part of that has been we all like to hang out. We all like to do the same things.
Right.
We enjoy being around each other, so it doesn't feel like work, and that doesn't come off to the customers. The customers come in, they have a good experience, and
it's authentic. You know, you're like-minded people, and let's face it, in any occupation or endeavor, you're spending a great deal of your time, and with a young child, oftentimes spending time away from your children, so you sure as heck better like who you're working with and have kind of like-minded people. So
absolutely.
Congratulations to you both. It's exciting to see the trajectory of what you've done with Spokane Alpine Haus. It'll be exciting to see where you go. So you've been here twice. Let's do it a third time. And
we're down.
and I think we're going to be looking to do you're going to be on the scene this summer. And so
love it.
Let's next time you see these guys, we'll be on a lake somewhere. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for watching. Business Talks is produced in Spokane, Washington by SpokaneTalksMedia.com, which is solely responsible for its content. Business Talks is brought to you in part by STCU, CW Crates and Pallets, and O'Brien Logistics. Ask Ryan a question, recommend a guest, or hear this program again on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SpokaneTalksMedia.com.